Well, we're just going to continue and start pulling the overarm assembly. So this one, oh, am I strong enough? I had it loose, but I'm going to have to get a socket. Alright, we have to get out the little sockets for these. This should just come all the way out. We've got this lowered down. It should be sitting on the table, so we should be alright there. It's got just a little bit of an outer round whoopee on it, which you'll never know when you loosen it that quarter or half turn or even one full turn to raise or lower it. It's apparently been this way forever because it's got markings on it, it looks like. I suppose we could look at that and think about straightening it when we put it back together. But there's what locks it to the upright. I'm not sure if that's just threaded into the casting or if it's got an insert in it. So next thing, we'll loosen up our gib screws here, or our gib adjustments here. I guess we won't loosen them up, we'll take them out. One thing I was thinking about last night is I talked about, in part 5 of this, I talked about the tapered gib that they'd put in here and had the little adjustment on the end. So it wasn't just a straight tapered gib, it's a taper this way, but then they've machined it out of quite a bit bigger stock, it looks like, to get all the adjustments and the lock nuts on the end. And I was laying in bed thinking about it last night. Why I thought, well, how are we adjusting the gib adjustment this way? And looking at it right now, they've done the exact same thing. They've taken the same thing and they put it on the back side. And looks like it's a little bit narrower, but otherwise it's the exact same system. It's pretty impressive to me. They've done a good job. Oh, come on out of there. Okay, we've got a longer one in the bottom. The top has a shorter one, so what does that mean to me? It looks like the casting is just thicker is all. Okay, what are we missing? We don't have anything retaining the gib. Still tight there. I'm not sure I want to be the guy that has to put that back in. Oh wait, that may be an issue too. Yeah, we wanted to clean that up anyway. Alright. Now when I talked about this gib yesterday, this is the way it sits down in there, just like that. This is what sits into our dovetail right there, and we tighten up that gib adjustment by tightening the bolts going through here. But again, not the way I anticipated it being, but quite an efficient way of doing it. Now, the only thing holding the overarm here is these two bolts for our upper screw, or for our lead screw that goes into the nut for that screw. So, if we were to take this like this, and that's the wrong size, how about if we do this one? What if we do these 3/4? Of course, that one's too thick to go in there. They're again not exceptionally tight. They're tight, they're snug, but they just fit exceptionally well. This should actually be taken out and reinstalled without the lead screw in. And the overarm should be completely loose. We're awful close to the side of the building here. Doesn't look like the nut's released from there yet. And we are free. Perfect, and we know that only weighs a couple of pounds too. So, next thing to do, I'm going to go ahead, clear my tools off so that I can get all this stuff. We'll go ahead and clean the table off the rest of the way. Then I think we'll rotate our head around here, get it fully up onto the table, and then go ahead and pull the cross slide assembly off of it. We can look at those taper gibs on there and whatever else we find that's interesting. So let me put some of this stuff away, and but anyway, the gibs sit right up here. They should. Maybe not. Maybe it's a stud that comes out of the side of the casting. Okay, there we go. So there's our gibs right there. Now we've got an oil slot there, an oil hole. Oil grooves in the bottom of it. This is pretty well thought out. So that sets, there's the one for the top. And they've done the exact same thing on the bottom, except it's got different nut sizes, so they've, at some point in time, they've lost the oversized nut, because the back gib has a 2 11/16 head nuts on them. That nut comes off. And that gib slides out the same way. Okay, this doesn't have the oil grooving like the does on the top. It does have, interesting. We may have to add some oil grooves to that. We'll look at that a little bit closer when we get there. So there's our gibs off of that. I wonder if we can, we'll probably rest them on the table here. There's both of those tapered gibs. Now, I guess we better see if we can't get our lead screw out and our guide shaft for the upper arm. Okay, this one looks to be threaded on this end. It's got a set screw. About that one. It's got the collar is threaded on this end. Oh. We were doing pretty good there. Okay, so we've got a collar with a set screw that threads on. And then we've got a big thick spacer washer that is keyed for that end of the shaft. So now we're going to have to pull this taper pin out. That may or may not be a taper pin, but yep, taper pin. Okay. That's going to slide that way, and this shaft should slide right on out. Yep, enough crap built up in there. Okay, now we run out of keyway on this end, so that may not come out that way at all. We may be running into the end of that keyway. May have to go out the other end. And that is what's happening. So, that was a really well thought out plan if it only would have been right. Let's go right there to support it. And we've got one more. Taper pin. Right down here and not quite underneath. This collar pulls right off. Now we should slide back through the other way, except we're going to hit the edge of the building first. Okay, and I believe this lead screw is going to be the exact same way. So we're kind of in the wrong position to be doing all this. There we go. This will be another threaded collar. Exact same thing, except for the lead screw. Now I think that it will actually come out this end because I don't think there's room otherwise. Okay, now you are going to remember how this all goes back together, right? Because if you don't remember, we may have problems. Okay, that was exciting. Man. Okay, now on this end we've got our keyed washer. And our collar. Get a little warm out here, or else I'm having to work too hard. Now this one, we have got this gear. Actually, this one goes back onto our lead screw. Both of these go onto the bottom. So now we should be able to slide this off. Except we can't, because we have to take these out. That, I believe, is a lead screw now. Same length. Okay, all three are the same length. Let's see, let's go ahead and get our four pivot bolts out. Alright, all one unit. Comes out as one complete unit. Came out just like that. Ended up and threaded a bolt back in, or screw back in, and tapped the head of it. Came right loose. So now is our alignment pin here, and the lower boss is this lower boss here. So it would appear to me that this upper one has to go in that way. Okay, got my little electrolysis tank. I got the 55-gallon drum set up, and I've had part of the clapper box assembly soaking overnight in it. So let me show you what I got. I'll explain it real quick, and then we're going to pull this part out. I haven't pulled it out yet to see what it looks like. I had it out after an hour or so just to see if anything was happening, and it looks pretty good. So now it looks pretty grungy here in the tank. So here's just my 55-gallon drum. Cut the top of it out, left a couple of inches, and I've left this so I can make some changes to it. I'll probably add some fancy little stanchions and probably put rebar in it, although if this works good I may just leave it alone. What I did is I just took some 3/4 inch black pipe that I had, and actually it's what I used as rollers underneath the planer on the lathe when I moved them. So they're all bent up and they're basically scrap anyway. So I've got 4 of them that are 27, 28 inches long, whatever it worked out to be to where I could get 4 of them. I just drilled 4 1/4 inch holes in the top of my plastic drum here, and I ran some copper wire that I had laying around, some extra stuff, and I took each of those pieces of pipe, and this is one of the cutoffs here. I just took this pipe, I drilled a 1/4 inch hole all the way through on both sides, and I just tied my wire off in there, sunk them in. Now I wiped these pipes off, but I didn't bother to clean the scale off of them yet. I just wanted to know how well it was gonna, if it was gonna work at all. So I'll go back when I clean them, and I'll clean the black, scale off the edge of them. That'll help them transfer electricity a little bit. But it's been in here for what, probably 16 hours or so, and I have no idea what this is going to look like. So let's cut the power to it and pull it out and look at it. Nice, reaching down into the quagmire. It's a fairly heavy part here. So that's what we've got with so far. And I took some pictures of it yesterday before I put it in here, so we'll throw those up. Let me set it over here, and we'll reset the camera, and I'll take it and rinse it off, and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, I've just rinsed it off with cold water. I haven't really scrubbed it down at all yet. And this part still had, well, you can see from the pictures I've already put out there, it still had all the paint on it and everything, so it looks like it's going to clean up pretty well. What I will probably do with all of this is get it all cleaned up. See, you can see those planer marks in there, and that feels just smooth as can be. Got a little bit of a step right there, but that's just a step where it was planed a little bit. What I will probably do is take these parts, all that I run through here, get them as clean as I can for right now. And there's a few things I need to do to them yet. I think I'll probably get a wire brush, get a brass brush probably, and then run them back through again, and then scrub them down before we dry them off. I think we'll get rid of a lot more of this staining. Now I'd noticed somebody had said that they'd had good luck removing paint by adding a little bit of lye to it or using a little bit of drain cleaner. So I may try that. We may see how that works. Hopefully you found this a little bit interesting, and if you haven't already, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button, and any comments or suggestions, leave them in the comment section for me below. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch.